So you plan to study abroad this year and you're considering taking student loans, but you don't quite know how these student loans work. You don't know how it impacts your visa application. You don't even know how you get the funding. Do they send it to you? Do they send it to the school? I will answer all those questions in today's video and give you all the information that you need to make a decision about taking student loans. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up? So I have done a lot of videos about taking student loans, so I will put an entire playlist in the description for you to watch after this one. There's almost no way I haven't answered most of the questions that you have about student loans. So these are some new ones that I will be answering in today's video. Let's get started with the first one. Okay, so first one is, can someone request a loan even if it is more than the tuition fee stated in the admission letter? It depends. So for many loan providers, you can borrow up to your full tuition and living expenses. So if what you want to request on the loan application is below that total cost of attendance, which is your tuition plus living expenses, then you're fine. But I'll also say for some loan providers, it depends on the school. So for some schools and for some specific programs, they can fund up to 100% of your tuition. For some other programs, they can fund up to 100% of your total tuition and cost of and living expenses. But for some other schools, they have limits, like we will only fund up to 50% of your tuition. So it all depends on the program and the specific loan provider you're applying to. So just check their website. I always have Prodigy Finance's link in the description and Empire, so you can check their website and see what the limit is for your own school. All right, next question is, for my master's program, can a pre-approved loan by Prodigy for the next year be shown as funding for visa application? This is tricky. So everything, as with so many things in life, is all about timelines and timing and seasons, right? So I believe what you're asking is, if your loan was approved for the next academic year, can you use it for your visa application this year? It's likely a no, because the visa officer or the consulate wants you to show how you will pay your tuition and living expenses this year, not next year. So you need to show something you will use to pay this year. So your visa will, I would think, this is my assessment, your visa application will likely be denied or not approved if you show loans that would likely be disbursed next year. You need to show loans that will be disbursed this year for this academic period. So try not to be in this situation. Okay, next question is, can I apply immediately when my I-20 is issued, or should I apply for the loan after my visa interview? And I am Ghanaian, do I need a cosigner or not? Three questions in one. Let's start with the first one. Can I apply immediately after my I-20 is issued? So if you're thinking of applying for student loans, you can apply once you have an admission letter. So you don't need to wait till your I-20 is issued. Also, for most people, for most schools, you need to show proof of how you pay your tuition and living expenses before they issue you an I-20. An I-20 is the letter you need to apply for an F1 visa if you're thinking about studying in the US, for those of you that don't know. So the answer to your first question is no, you don't need to wait till after your I-20 is approved. You just need an admission offer for you to apply for a student loan. And then the third one is, I'm Ghanaian, do I need a cosigner or not? Now, it depends. If you have someone in the country, let's say in the US, that can co-sign your loan, then fine, you can use that. But if you don't have anyone and you are not a citizen of the US or Canada or all these places, or the UK, and you're purely an international student, for many loan providers you need a co-signer. But there are a couple of loan providers for which you don't need a co-signer. Prodigy is one, Empire Financing is one, Quorum Federal Credit Union is one. So you can try these three popular options and you won't need a co-signer. But if you try others, you will need a co-signer. Okay, so next question is, the loan I'm thinking of applying to supports University of New Haven undergrad, but graduate wasn't on the list. Can you recommend other funding options for New Haven? So I'm thinking the loan provider you're talking about here is Prodigy Finance, but correct me if I'm wrong. If your specific program isn't on the list of programs that they work with, then no, you cannot apply to that loan provider and get it approved. No, even though they fund your school, they need to fund your program, right? So sadly, this won't be an option for you if they don't work with your specific program. So if you've tried Prodigy Finance and this is the limitation you have, try Empower Finance, check Quorum Federal Credit Union as well. And I think those are the main options that I have for you if you need a cosign, if you don't have a cosigner. Now, if you have a cosigner, there's so many other options. Let me know in the comments if you want me to share options for those of you that have cosigners. All right, so this is another question. When you graduate, for the 6-month grace period, does the loan still incur interest? So for a lot of these loan providers, they offer this grace period, and grace period is typically maybe 6 months post graduation. So what they're essentially saying is you don't need to start paying us back until after 6 months post graduation. So they're basically giving you some grace, some time to go look for a job, to go settle down, and you don't need to pay them until after 6 months post your graduation date. Now the question is, in that grace period, will you still incur interest? And the answer is yes. There's no free lunch, right? So if from day one that a loan provider sends funds to your school or to you, you start incurring interest. There's no other way to say that. Even in the grace period, you incur interest. What they're just saying is you don't need to start paying us back. If you have the cash to pay us back, great. But if you don't, fine. You don't need to. You're not violating anything if you don't pay us back within 6 months, if you don't start paying back within 6 months of graduation. But do you incur interest? Hell yeah, you incur interest. So next one is, when can I reapply after my first rejection? Oh, I am so sorry your loan application wasn't approved. I'll say, there's no time limit, but I'll say it depends on you. If you sense that one of the reasons or a major reason why your loan wasn't approved is that you couldn't show that you had enough savings, or that you can get a job right after graduation and all of those things, then I'll say you need to work on what you can change, right? You need to think about, what can I change about my application in order to give myself a better chance when I reapply. So I'll do another video where I'll share with you reasons why your loan application could be denied and what you can do about it. So watch out for that video and basically watch that and do some of those things before you reapply. Alrighty, so that is it for today's video. If you have other questions about taking student loans, you can always ask me, and I'm here rooting for you and hoping that you get all the funding that you need to make your dreams happen. And give this video a thumbs up if you found it valuable, and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. But don't forget that I have a ton of videos and links in the description if you want to learn more about any of the topics that I touched in today's video. I'll see you in the next one.